Hey guys, Dash here with Adam Murguia, Studio Art Director of Riot Games, as well as Steve Wang, who is the co-founder of Alliance Studio. All right, I'm gonna make you choose out of all the statues you created for Riot Games, which one is your favorite?
That's kind of like asking me who's my favorite child.
I know.
I don't know that I can answer that. It's every one of these statues to me have something really special. You know, because every time I look at one of these statues, especially if I haven't seen them for a while, I remember all the special care we put into it. I don't know, I love them all. I think they're fantastic characters and I just love building them.
Where did you get started, for you particularly, in statue making and kind of your come up to that?
I started in 1985 as a special makeup effects artist. And I worked on movies such as Predator, Batman Returns, Beetlejuice, Underworld movies, Hellboy. I'm a sculptor, painter, designer. I basically build stuff.
When you get up close to one of these statues, you're actually more and more impressed with them the closer and closer you get. And a lot of times,
I'm standing very close, and I can confirm that, yeah, the same has happened for me.
A lot of times it's not like that, right? You go and you go to conventions and you see statues and it looks good on film and you go and you get close and you're a little bit let down. But with these, it really is the case where you're just like, no way, no way.
One of the main things that we have to do with these characters is we have to tell a story with them. When you're playing with the game, there's such small characters on the screen.
Right.
And you don't really get to know the characters, and the cinematics help tremendously.
Yeah.
And I think this is kind of an extension of the cinematics.
Right.
And for me to see them interacting with the characters is really rewarding.
Where do you start? How do you start? How do you get from nothing, right, to this?
It's actually pretty straightforward. We start out with a sketch. We work out kind of like, okay, what is this character? What is he going to do? And then once that's all decided, then we start out with a clay maquette. Then we start to scale it up, and we build the armatures. Like this was at one point all a clay sculpture. We use mixed media. Like the face is actually made of silicone. So that's why if you look at the hair very closely, it's all punched in one by one.
Being a little bit humble here when he says, oh, it's actually pretty straightforward.
Right.
Like, because I'm kind of like you. I didn't know how these things were created either. And I can tell you, as a layman, like, seeing the process, you're absolutely blown away. Because yes, it is, as he's outlining, you know, you come in and there's an armature. But when we were making Tryndamere and Rise, you literally walk in and they've sculpted every single muscle before they actually smooth everything to do the skin. Like, they're really building these things up in layers.
Right.
It is a crazy process.
One thing that I'm really proud of that we do is that when you come up to each one of these characters, we go down to the pore of each character. Every hair is hand punched. I mean, the eyes are all handmade, glass eyes, and you know, there's a lot of work goes into these things. Lucian, which was our last statue,
Yes.
that was probably one of the most complicated ones, next to Annie and Tibber.
Also one of the sickest.
Yeah, and that one took us about 4 months because every element on that was hand sculpted. Like all the swirling lights, the energy, that's all hand sculpted. Every one of these statues we do, there's always something new a new challenge we have to work out. There's an evolution because as we're building each statue, we're learning as well. And we're always researching new materials, new techniques, new technology. We're always excited, like what's next? What's the next exciting thing that we can do that's different? If you ever get a chance to look inside of Tibber's, you know, we made it so it easily comes apart.
Yeah.
Inside is like the inside of a space shuttle.
When you talk about bringing these characters to life, right, that's the mission, is to somehow, you know, create this relationship between, you know, video gamer, player of League of Legends, and the actual character.
Yeah, it's engagement, because, you know, that's, as an artist anyway, when you create a piece of art, you want people to appreciate it and enjoy it. But one of the funniest things that I see, and I see all the time still, is people will come up to these statues, especially ones that look like human characters, and they'll just stand there and they'll wait. And you're wondering, like, what are they waiting for? They're waiting for these characters to blink.
Well, that's going to do it for us here, but if you want to see this Zig statue and more, they're all here at LA Live for your viewing pleasure tomorrow at Worlds.